On this Father's Day, Black fathers know that we see you, we love you, and we're there for you. My name is William Moore. I'm a Black male doula. I'm a certified perinatal educator and race and health equity administrator for Ramsey County in Minnesota. You know, anytime people, somebody approaches me and they ask a question like, you're a male doula, like, isn't that women's work? And I always tell them, absolutely not. Like, birth work is family work. Making sure that our families are happy and healthy and that our women and children are taken care of is everybody's responsibility. Doing good work in my community is what got me started as being a doula in the first place. As I was going through the process and learning the history of birth workers, is when I felt more of a sense of pride about the work, and it moved from being a cool or different way to give back and help my community to more of a cultural responsibility. The day in the life of a Black male doula depends. If I am working with the entire family unit, it's about really bringing the family together, helping them understand what the birth process is like, also what their rights are as patients when they're interacting with our healthcare system, which is steeped in systematic and structural racism. When it's working with fathers, we have to break down a lot of perceptions of men that men have about themselves and their place in the birth process, and about stereotypical gender roles. And I really like to do it. One of the main things that I always like to talk about when I do that is asking men 4 main questions. What is your idea or perception of masculinity? And the answers are pretty much as you would expect. Having autonomy over self or one's family, being able to move how they want in the community. The second question I usually ask them is, where did you get your perception of masculinity from? A father, a grandfather, a father figure, a coach. The third question is where it starts to get very interesting. The object or the space or the person that you got your definition or reference point of masculinity, do they live up to that expectation? And this is where you see a lot of men kind of freeze. And it's at that moment that they start kind of letting you know that no, wherever that they got this perception or definition of masculinity, the person who gave them this definition does not live up to that expectation. And so the fourth question I asked them, why did you just explain to me that your entire life you've been living by someone else's definition who in fact does not live up to that definition? And it's at that moment that a lot of men really begin to realize that they haven't been living their lives for themselves, and it begins to, open up a whole new frontier. A whole new set of possibilities begin to open up for them. A lot of men feel like they have no position or any space in the birth process because society says so, because other men or women in their family say so. But now that they've just kind of realized that they can define that for themselves, now holding a significant space in the birth process or being in that arena becomes much more of a possibility. And I think that's very important. So really by empowering our fathers and making sure that they know every step of the birth process, that they understand the type of changes they're going to go through emotionally and physically. Once they feel like they're equipped and they have the tools, more times than not, you see fathers more willing and more able and actually ecstatic about jumping in and being more involved in the process. When you talk about building a Black family, you can't build a Black family without including Black men too. My Black birth story of hope was being my brother's doula during the age of COVID. Hospitals were we were on a nationwide lockdown, and hospitals only allowed in patients, no family members, no anything. In my brother's case, he was allowed to be in the delivery room because he was the father of the child. At that point in time, the person that they had working with him wasn't available, so I got called to kind of step in last second over the phone. As I talked to my brother, I noticed that he was very high strung, very nervous, which is out of character for him because normally he's a pretty calm, laid back guy. I remember asking him, all right, what are you seeing right now? What are you feeling right now? Tell me what's going on. What are the doctors telling you? The doctors aren't telling you anything? Ask them this. What is it you want to know? So really just making sure to be there with him every step of the way so that he didn't feel like that he was on his own, because at that point in time, it was a very isolating feeling for him. And so I left that situation feeling very encouraged, that I was able to be of service to my younger brother and could be a guide for him in one of the biggest moments in his life. I was able to be a servant in the truest form. I would really want my village to know that they have impacted my life in ways that I could have never imagined. The message of hope that I have for this new generation of doulas, and specifically male doulas, is that we're here and we're doing the work. There are brothers and sisters out in the community who are championing the work, who are paving a way and building that foundation for you to essentially come in and stand on their shoulders and help progress the work. The point of the matter is there's people out there fighting, and that's what we need. We need people fighting so that we can decrease these disparities and make sure that our women and children are taken care of. It's time for new narratives of hope that heal. It's time for us to be seen. It's time for our stories to be heard. Join us. Shine a light on Black birth stories of hope.